Welcome to the pilot of Off the Cuff. I'm Wilkie, and I'm here today with Jesse Link, and we're kicking off today's show with a roundup of our thoughts on electric cars and why gas cars are miles better in every way. There's just no competition. Gas has been through the trial of time, and it's proven its worth. I mean, they're much more reliable than electric cars as we know of today, and there's still many flaws with electric that need to be fixed because, having a nice, big, fancy T doesn't save you from, waiting times on the chargers or, battery explosions or whatever it is. Moving on from that, Jesse, what are your thoughts so far on this?
My thoughts on electric versus gas, it's like I say this all the time. It's like a grill versus a microwave when you're cooking a steak, Everyone wants a grilled steak. No one wants a microwave steak. Yeah, make it cook faster, but it's just not as nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. I mean, with electric cars, we're talking like, the Mach-E and all these newer cars like Teslas.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea and the premises of them is the fact that they're environmentally friendly and it's instant power and torque to your car because, with gas, the gas has to get to your engine and reach it in order to create torque. But what do you think's with all the hype of the electric?
I don't know. I think they're the newest thing. Like a bunch of...
It's just a fad?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a fad for now. Like it'll go away in a couple of years. People go back to the gas cars. And I think it's already starting to happen. Like a couple of years ago, it used to be you see all these Instagram influencers with their Teslas and all this, that, and the other thing. But now I think that's starting to go away. People are getting back into the more... reliable cars and the more modern ones too, like the BMWs and the Mercedes.
I mean, if we're talking issues with cons and everything with electric compared to gas, what would you say cons are for like electric? We're saying battery issues, eventual decrease in charger hold and everything.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is it's going to cost you $10,000 once your battery pack goes for 5 years. So it's like replacing your engine every 5 years. No one wants to do that. You want to have it good for like 20 years.
Talking about that, engines with gas, and they last way longer depending on what car or brand you're with. I mean, looking into like Nissans and all these other cars, most of these cars have really well built engines that last, as long as the car frame does.
Yeah.
For most of the time. In electrics, it's like an iPhone. You use your phone, the more you use it, the battery wears out, the more you charge it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gas, it just goes and goes until it don't no more.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, moving into our next segment, we're going to introduce the junk box for the week. We got the Lada. The Lada Riva is basically a car that was based off the Fiat 125, an Italian modeled car from the 60s. And 14 years later, the Soviets decided to, bring it into service for them because, the economy in there wasn't great and they needed something to, get on the roads and move people around. So the Lada Riva. So this car was definitely not, the greatest. It had a really weak engine, around 90 horsepower, 1.7 liter, I believe. I mean, if we're talking about these things, if there ain't oil under them, there's none in them.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably the poorest built cars I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, they're just a genius work of Soviet engineering, to say the least. They're like the worst of everything that was bad in Russia at the time. The engineering, the design, the modeling, the strategy behind it was all just missing a mark entirely.
Yeah, I mean, if we're discussing the fact of it, I mean, considering you had a car that's got an engine the size of a lawnmower in it, and the car is made out of like heavy metal.
I'm being so serious. My dad's quad, he has a Honda TRX 450.
Yeah.
It makes more horsepower than that.
I mean, if we're talking horsepower, 93 horsepower, and
no, it was more like it was 70. It was 72, wasn't it?
No,
it was 72 in the petrol.
The car's 90. It's a 1790.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, considering the fact that you're trying to put a 90 horsepower engine in a car, you're not going far.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, I don't know why anyone would use that.
All right. So, I mean, now moving on from the junk box, let's send it to break.
All right, so welcome back. Let's take a trip back to the past and start getting into some 60s and 70s cars. Dean, what's your favorite new and old car and why?
I mean, if we're talking newer cars, I'm looking at like modern. I mean, I love the Mustangs, even the like 60 styles and the modern styles. I love both of them. They're just such sleek, nice designed cars. The modern ones and the older ones just have that classic, like, mean look to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking classics. I'm saying like 67 Mustang or 69 Camaro any day of the week for style wise. But, you know, if we're talking mileage and general ease of use and all that stuff, it's definitely a modern day car over that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, like, modern versus, like, old, Americans don't even do it for me. Like, Americans, if I was to get, like, an old car, like, from the 60s or 70s, I'd get an old, maybe a Chevy Chevelle or something like that. But nowadays, you could not make me touch an American car unless it's, like, a Demon 170. But even that, like, I'd rather, like, something European over like a BMW or maybe not a BMW, like a Mercedes or something like that. I would definitely take any of those.
What would you say is the most reliable car on the market right now, European-wise?
European-wise? Well, the difference is Europeans don't drive as much like gas cars as we do. They drive pretty much strictly diesel over there, so I don't really know what like good companies like make, like BMW. I don't know what their diesels are like. If I had to guess over there, it would still probably be like an Asian brand, like probably
like a Japanese,
probably a Japanese cars,
like one of the Nissans or something.
No, not a Nissan.
No.
Dean, your bias is leaking through here.
No,
I would probably say a Toyota, maybe a Corolla. Probably the most reliable car on the market.
I mean, they're pretty well priced too, and you can't beat them.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean,
we gotta get back on topic here.
We have to go back. So if you had to choose over a Camaro or a Mustang, which one are you doing?
What, modern or
modern? Both.
Classics. I would take the '69 Camaro.
Yeah.
Modern day, I'm taking the Mustangs.
No, I agree. I completely agree with that. I would definitely take a Camaro over a Mustang now. But now I'd probably choose a Mustang if it was a Shelby or something like that.
Yeah, the Shelbys, those things are sick.
Yeah, the Chevy just doesn't put as much into them as they used to, but, that's that.
Yeah, you just don't see the style. And besides, all those older cars, they just have such iconic sounds to them. And everything, just the feel of them is so nice.
Yeah, they used to be like the kings of muscle cars, but now they're not. They're just, I guess it would be Ford because they don't even make muscle cars anymore. They stopped making the Camaro. They're only making the Corvette, which is more like a supercar, I guess. But we had a chance to talk to some of the students here at Wayne Hills about their cars or what their favorite cars are. So let's go take a look at that real quick. All right, so who am I here with today?
Ryan Westerberg.
All right, so what are your thoughts on the new 2024 Ford Challenger SS?
I like it.
Like it a lot?
Yeah, I really like it.
What do you like about it most?
The tires.
The tires? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Who am I here with?
Dean Bazooka.
Okay. So if you can get any car you want in the world, what would it be?
1962 PLP 50.
All right. Why that car?
It looks funny.
Looks funny?
Yep.
Just for the memes?
Yep.
All right. So now moving on to gas versus electric cars, what would you prefer?
Gas, because you never know, you might get stranded. What are you gonna do? You can't put some gas in your electric car.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people that are just, trusting the electric, but I feel like it definitely needs more time to develop. Plus, you got to wait on the charging stations, which could take a while.
Electric bill gonna skyrocket.
Dude, hybrids, I'd prefer one of those. Those are nice.
Yeah.
I drive one of the most beastly cars in the world, a 2012 Nissan Frontier.
Oof.
Thing's an absolute monster. A whole 34 horsepower, and it goes a 0 to 60 in 2 months.
Yeah.
Other than that, so you said you want the Peel 50, right?
Yeah.
For what reason?
It's a nice collector's car. Pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Other than that, okay.
Yep.
In the future, do you see gas cars, leaving in general and being dominated by electric?
I think they could try to push for it, but I don't think the citizens will let it happen.
To be honest, I would stick with the gas car over electric.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Dean, for coming on the show.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Jack Montessor.
And what car do you drive?
Lincoln Aviator.
Okay. And what did you do to said Lincoln Aviator a couple weeks ago?
Was driving and blew my transmission.
So can you explain to us what exactly happened?
Okay, so we were driving a little icy out, slipped on the road, and car started auto braking while my foot was on the gas, and bye-bye transmission.
And if I understand this correctly, you put the car in reverse and it proceeded to drive forward, correct?
Or it wouldn't drive at all. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I'm Hunter Bandola.
Okay, good to hear. So, what car do you drive?
I drive a 73 Land Rover.
So, with the 73 Land Rover, how did you guys fix it?
We had to go up to a shop in New York and work some guys. We got the engine swapped. We got a turbo, new transmission.
Nice. What's the 0 to 60 time on this beast?
Eventually.
All right. So now moving on. If you could get any car in the world, what would it be?
Probably a Pagani. They're fast. Yeah, Bugatti. They're fast.
Well, that's probably not happening. Too bad.
Yeah, I know.
So what are your thoughts on electric cars like the Mach-E?
I don't like how they're replacing gas cars, but they have a place.
I mean, definitely. But the thing is, like, imagine, if there's just no power stations
Yeah.
or anything left.
That's the issue.
Would you prefer a hybrid?
Yeah, because they're the best of both worlds.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, thinking of like the new Lexuses and stuff like that, they all have the ability to run on either way. So, like, say if your power went out and you could, you can't charge your car, you still have the gas function.
Yeah, so they get great gas mileage, but you don't have to sit at a charging station for a long time.
It's definitely the downsides. You'd prefer gas, you'd say,
Yeah.
if you had to go one of the ways. That's good. Well, now leave. I don't want to hear you.
All right.
Well, that's about all the time we have here for you this week. I've been Jesse Link alongside Dean Wilkie, and this has been Off the Cuff.